Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Want to sing it with me? Here we go. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving into the deepest kind of love, to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to the present moment. Here to a new beginning here, and I'm seeing life so clearly now. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in again. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving into the deepest kind of love, to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. 'Cause here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul.
And let's let the sound of this next bell take us to that deepest place within us. Namaste, friends. Namaste. Are you ready? We are ready. We're ready for Daniel. Well, I would love to introduce our musician and musical inspiration and message deliverer and concert artist, amazing human. All right.
Deliverer might be strong.
You're right.
Right.
Noted.
Yes, deliverer.
Noted. Okay. Deliver us, Daniel. Please. We need you. Just kidding. Hey, we're ready. You started it. Get ready, my soul. I mean, you're talking to yourself, right? All right. So, Orange County, California-based singer, songwriter, producer, and humanitarian Daniel Nahmod has performed his profound, heart-opening music for over 1 million people across 45 U.S. states and Canada. Fun fact, Daniel's songs have been featured on Saturday Night Live, The Voice, American Idol, the Super Bowl, and the Today Show, and probably others not even named here. Some terrible shows, unnamed. We'll leave those out. And his poetic and evocative message of peace, love, and compassion unites nations, cultures, and faiths, especially in favorites like One Power, one of our cherished gems here at Awakening Ways Center for Spiritual Living, and also a perfect fit for our 2026 theme of Awakening. Daniel live streams Musical Monday Night on Facebook, sharing his joy weekly, and so much more. And also, just to make sure we don't miss this, you can purchase Daniel's music from the merch table in the back. He's also got some beautiful necklaces and earrings, stunning jewelry that his wife, Melina, makes, and his music, a lot of it, and maybe some other things that he's going to pull out that we didn't even know about. And so, friends, please help us welcome back Daniel Nahmod. Woo!
Hello. Let's. I put "Get Ready, My Soul" and technically in the wrong spot in the service there, but let's do one to sing together. And if you're feeling spry and limber, and I'm not saying I am, but if you are, feel free to stand up and stretch a little bit. It's good for the breath. If you don't feel like standing up, there's no judgment. I might be looking straight at you, but otherwise. And let's do this one. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Sing it again. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, yeah. All right. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Want to do one more? Promptu. I think I know a couple more songs. Let's see. Well, you mentioned this song, and it's going to come up for today anyway. So let's do this right now. I have nice to be back, by the way. I have talked a little bit here in the past about where I come from, where my family comes from. Child of actually not only child of first generation Americans, but child of a refugee on my mother's side. She was a refugee in World War II as a newborn baby, and they came to Chicago, sponsored by a distant relative after the Holocaust, after the war. My mother and her mother and father, and in fact, I'll be in New York next week, and our boy Jude is 14. He's going to see the Statue of Liberty for the first time, and I don't know how I will contain my feelings. I doubt I will, because my mother still remembers as a 6-year-old girl seeing the Statue of Liberty for the first time off in the distance from the ship that she came over with her parents, having lost everything and everyone. And she still remembers the weeping as everyone on the ship ran to the rail and saw the Statue of Liberty in the distance, and thanked God, or whatever their God was, thanked everything and everyone that had made it possible for them to survive, to arrive in a land of opportunity and freedom and safety from the hell that they had gone through. And that's what America meant to them. So, what was that? That was like 1950 or so, 51. And here we are 75 years later, and that little girl's son, and her other 2 sons as well, but her son sings and plays guitar and plays piano, and and remembers and bears, as we all do, I bear the imprint of that moment and of my family and what it survived and what it didn't survive. And so I wrote this song in about the year 2000, and I wouldn't have known then. I mean, I had probably an inkling, but I wouldn't really have known why I wrote it, to be honest. Took years after that for me to really fully understand in whose honor and in whose memory I was writing a song that, in my own small way, this is not meant to sound grand or delivering, no, for real, but it is sincere. It is sincere, and it really is intended to make another nightmare like my grandparents survived, to make a nightmare like that just a little bit less likely, to bring humanity just a tiny bit closer together. And that's where the song was born. I imagine that it was born on the railing of that ship. So here we go. There's one power, invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power, indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angel's wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see?
Why don't you just open it again?
It's the power of the love in you and me. We speak so many languages, different clothing, different colors, different names. But different is only dangerous when we forget that in the heart we're all the same. And we'll remember once we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit or Jesus or Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem or Heaven's Door. It's Mohammed, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth, or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, yeah. One power is what we are. It's the moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon, for it's love that's most deep. It's one power. Whoa, 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 whoa. What we are is one. It's the power of the love that lives forever in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me.
Wow. All right, friends. Will everybody please stand for a moment? And then while you're standing, turn to one another and offer a namaste greeting. Namaste. Namaste to our tech team, Matthew and Brian. Namaste, everyone. Namaste to our love streamers. Namaste, Daniel. So grateful for everyone to be here with us today. And please go ahead and take your seat. And as you do, take a moment to silence your cell phones. Turn them on vibrate, whatever you need to do. Namaste, everyone. I'm Reverend Elizabeth Raleigh Hogue, and I am the spiritual leader here. I use she, her gender pronouns, and the land upon which we gather is the unceded territory of the Chumash and Salinan people. And we exist to raise the vibe, and we envision a joyful, happy world. It is my great joy to welcome you to the Awakening Ways Center for Spiritual Living, where all that we ask is that you remain open to the possibility of changing your entire life by changing your mind. This service has been designed especially for you. Welcome home. We have been waiting for you. Yeah. And we have an affirmation for today. I invite you to please repeat after me. Divine intelligence within me, guides me in every way. And so it is. And now I would like to invite our practitioner of the day, someone who wears many hats, who we love and adore, Gina DiGirolamo. Come on up. All right. And she's going to offer our reading and our opening prayer. And before she does so, I wanted to call your attention to the salmon-colored forms that were in your program when you picked them up on your way in this morning. Now, these are prayer request forms. And friends, if there is something that is weighing heavy on your heart for which you would like prayer for, or maybe you're looking to manifest something in your life, like a new relationship or deeper love or a closer walk with Spirit, whatever it is, we are a community who loves to pray, and this is our service to you. And so we have a soul support team, and there are 7 of us, ministers and practitioners, on this team, and we will take the prayer requests that you submit and pray over them for the next week. It's a beautiful thing, and it's our gift to you. And so we invite you to fill out your prayer request form, and you can place it in the offering basket at the end of service when it comes around, or you can place it over in the prayer request box after the service. And if you have multiple prayer requests, you can grab another form and fill it out there. There aren't too many, and I want to be real clear that there's no prayer too big, no prayer too small. Even if you want some powerful, celebration, like you're so grateful, your life is so amazing, write that down. We love that. We love it. And if you leave here today and you're on your way home and remember, oh, darn, I thought of something, you can email that to us at info@awakeningways.org with the subject line prayer request, and we will have that forwarded to our prayer team. And Gina is going to be available after the service in our little prayer nook. Yeah, right around the corner here. And she's going to be available for 1-minute miracles. Again, we encourage everyone to give this a try, whether it's a prayer for celebration and gratitude or you have something heavy on your heart. She is an amazing prayer, right? Yeah. If you do say so yourself. Now, if you haven't had a prayer with Gina, I definitely encourage it. And then we also have Reverend Diane up front holding the high watch for us. And so thank you, Reverend Diane. She's in a meditative state, anchoring the service and knowing the highest and best for all of us. And now, without further ado, I will turn this over to Gina. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so I'm going to do a little reading for today from our book of the year, which is 365 Days of Richer Living by Ernest Holmes and Raymond Charles Barker. And so for today, February 15th, the title is The Joy of the Lord is Mine Today. Self-pity is the indication of an egocentric mind. This common error should be treated as definitely as we would treat a disease. Actually, it is a temporary illness of the consciousness. Its cure is to realize that the only way the joy of the Spirit can function in our world is by functioning from a point within us. We cannot experience joy around us until we have created it within us. God is the joy and zest of life. Its presence within and around us is forever calling our attention to the happiness of living the abundant life. Too much thinking in personal terms causes us to start sympathizing with ourselves. It is easy to describe the hurts and offenses that are offered us and to inwardly build them into false judgments of people and conditions. But no one destroys our joy but ourselves. And no one creates our joy for us. God's Spirit within us is the cause and the producer of our happiness. So let's turn within now together. And so I just know that there is only one thing, and there is only one Spirit, one God, one divine energy, one power. We heard so much of that one power just now coming through Daniel. And I just know that that one power is in me, and it's within each and every being. And that we are all unique divine expressions of the one. I am a unique divine expression of this one power. And each and every being is. I can never be separate from it, nor can any other. Therefore, I am never separate from an other. The other is me. I am the other. I am one. And so I know that this day and this service is an expression of that one divine light, divine love. That the beauty that comes through Daniel's music and Daniel's message, Daniel is a vehicle for this one to express in a unique, individualized way. And I know that I am a recipient of that message. And each and every being here is a receiver and hearing exactly what it is that Spirit wants us to hear. And so I know that our entire community is blessed. Each person who is here today is bringing that divinity with them to our community, to each other in fellowship. And for those who are not here today, they are actually here in spirit within each one of us, always and in all ways. And so I'm so grateful for this. I'm grateful for this life. I'm grateful for this community. I'm grateful for the one divine energy flowing through me and each and being. And so I just claim all this and anchor it in the truth by releasing it into the law and claiming together. And so it is.
All right, friends. Well, we just started doing a insight talk, like a power talk, right before the speaker. And so rather than have a full power talk, I just wanted to take an opportunity to give you all an update on some things. So, and that is, firstly, last week I spoke about, this new location that we had that we were looking into, and we were going to have a board meeting, and we had our board meeting, and the board, we approved signing the lease, and so we'll be moving at the end of March. We'll start, around March 15th. Yay! Isn't that exciting? Now, this move is going to save us $650 a month, around $7,500 for the year, which is awesome, right? Yeah, so great. And it's a beautiful space. It's a newer building, 7840 Morrow Road. The lease has been signed, and so I am going to be looking for some support going through things at the office. A couple of you have mentioned you're interested. So what I did was I created a sign-up sheet for moving crew, is what it says on the top over on this table to my left. And you can put your name. If we have your phone number, you don't need to put your phone number down, but email would be great because it's going to be easier to just get in touch with you. And there's a little section for notes. So let me know how you want to help. If you got a truck, if you want to come in and help sort a release or plan the sale or whatever, right? If you can sign up there, that would be wonderful. Now, we're really looking at this as an amazing opportunity for a fresh start. This is not a sad thing, right? This is like we're shedding the old and boldly taking a bold step into something new. And it's going to be fresh energy. We're also going to need some, I would love to have some support with, hey, how are we going to design this place? What are our ideas? And, that would be really fabulous. And so please consider signing up. It takes a village, as you know, to do these things. And we get to make this space ours, right? Isn't that cool? Yeah. So, yes. It's a demonstration. So you all know, a couple weeks ago, I said, well, we were getting ready to do our new budget, and I wrote down 1,800 as a reduced number. And the very next day, this person walked in, the agent walked in and said, oh, well, I've got this place. It's real close to the pavilion. And I said, oh, well, how much is the rent? 1,800. She's turning it off. Thank you. 1,800. So that's another reminder that, friends, if you're looking to demonstrate something or, have something in your life, write it down, right? Or what? Like you call it in, we call it in. And so we get clear and then we call it in, right? That's how it works. I love it. And I'm so grateful for all of that. And that is really what I wanted to share today. We are powerful beings. Anytime you move, whether you're moving in your own life, anytime you move a house or a location is a representation of consciousness. And so we're expanding our consciousness, and we're really moving into a new level for Awakening Way Center for Spiritual Living. And it's mighty, magnificent, and powerful. Woo! I love the clapper, Kat. All right, and now, without further ado, let's welcome back Daniel Nahmod. Yeah, Daniel! Woo! So, Daniel, the rest is yours. If you want to do a song, that's what we normally do. But, if you want to talk and then a song or 3 songs or whatever, it's all yours, my friend.
All right, thank you. You've had to be strong for so long. You don't remember who you are. But when I see you, I see myself too. I know the child hidden in your heart. You're only human like me. You're lonely sometimes like me. You're longing for love like me. You're just like me. I know the ones who most hurt you are those you trusted most of all. But to forgive them is to live again and heal the heart of that child so small. You're only human like me. You're lonely sometimes like me. You're longing for love like me. You're just like me. We cry for a safe place, a quiet space to be, where a soul shows its true face, where love flies free. You're only human like me. You're lonely sometimes like me. You're longing for love like me. You're just like me. I understand. You're just like me. Well, I used to dream out loud. Just being human made me proud. Now I throw my hands up in the air from disillusion and despair. My heart has taken such abuse. I've used my hurt as my excuse. It's like my hope has disappeared behind the shadow of my fear. And I wonder why they say that aging thins the skin. Then I remember I am only one, but I am not alone. I don't need to do everything, no. I can right one wrong, I can sing one song. I don't need to do everything. It's time to dive back in. Yeah, it's time to live again. I am unjaded. What if you have to fall to grow? I've fallen hard enough to know. So what if life's not fair? Does it mean that I'm too believing right will win. Then I remember I am only one, but I am not alone. I don't need to do everything, no. I can right one wrong, I can sing one song. I don't need to do everything. It's time to dive back in. Yeah, it's time to live again, unjaded. What kind of life would I live with my heart closed? What kind of man would I be? What kind of world will I be creating if I can love with all of me? If I just love with all of me. I am only one, but I am not alone. I don't need to do everything on my own. I can right one wrong, I can sing one song. I don't need to do everything. I am only one, but I am not alone. I don't need to do everything, no. I can right one wrong or sing one song. I don't need to do everything. It's time to dive back in. Yeah, it's time to dive back in. Oh, it's time to live again. I am unjaded. Whoa, unjaded. Once more, knocking on a locked door, wondering why I try for anything at all. Ran hard, worked it with my whole heart, reaching for that last part. Once again, I fall. I've never had an easy ride, but it's up to me to decide. I will carry on. I will carry on, 'cause hope is never gone, and hope is never wrong. It's time to take the leap beyond what I can see. Here I go again. One deep breath, and then I will carry on. Once more, crashing through that closed door. Won't sit still, not anymore. This is my time. Which way am I headed today? I don't care what they say, the decision is mine. I may not have an easy ride, but I have made up my mind. I will carry on. I will carry on, 'cause hope is never gone, and hope is never wrong. It's time to take the leap beyond what I can see. And here I go again. One deep breath, and then I will carry on. The world will say, give up, but I will not give up. 'Cause this is what I've always dreamed of. So if it takes a lifetime, that's how long I'll wait until I carry on. I will carry on, 'cause hope is never gone, and hope is never wrong. It's time to take the leap beyond what I can see. Here I go again. One deep breath, and then I will carry on. So, you all have been, if you've been attending lately, you are apparently walking through the Don Miguel Ruiz book. There's four principles that I have always thought were pretty wise and simple enough for me to remember, and which is helpful. And I was just given a heads up in advance of today that we arrived today at in the chapter about assumptions, about not making assumptions. And it has been interesting to think about that as I prepared for today. In fact, and those three songs actually are about assumptions. The first one, Just Like Me, is I think maybe a meditation on the possibility that the difference I perceived in somebody I thought I knew may not be much of a difference after all. You're only human. You're lonely sometimes. You're longing for love. And Unjaded, I think, is, among other things, a song about an assumption we make when we read the news or study history. Which is that some things never change. It's an assumption that we are bound to, anyone is bound to fall into, at least sometimes, sort of a dispiriting feeling that human nature is what it is, and we're just going to keep coming round and round again. And then I Will Carry On, I think, for me anyway, among other things, is a song about an assumption about myself, that because I have failed in the past, I will inevitably fail in the future. That I have always fallen before, and why would I have the gall to think that if I keep trying, maybe one day the door will open, and I will make it through to, whatever dream it is, whatever goal I've always had. So, how much assuming do we do? That was kind of I started thinking about all the assumptions that we make, and there are many. And actually, I shouldn't project. I'm going to talk about myself. Okay, I'm gonna. Not only will I talk about myself, I'm going to assume that no one in this room can relate. So I want this to be helpful in your dealings with people you know who fall short of your personal enlightenment, because like I said, I'm sure that none of you assume, for example, that because it works for you, it must work for other people. Like you would never draw that conclusion. Right? Because what an absurd leap to make. I mean, I don't even need to say it. That just because you like something, somebody else must too. I think this is a common assumption. Or just because you or I dislike something must mean that it is unliked. Right? Yeah. How about just because I can do something, other people must be able to? Or other people can do that, but I can't. That's another assumption I think we commonly have. I believe something, therefore, so must everybody, or eventually will. They'll get there, or if I just say it loud enough, or eloquently enough, or at gunpoint, they will arrive at this obvious truth, right? How about assumptions about what you, about how things turn out? If it worked, it must be because you worked hard enough. The flip side being, of course, that if it didn't work, you must not have worked hard enough. How about you see somebody else? How about you see somebody living on the street? And you may assume a substance abuse problem, or a terrible error in judgment, or a horrible broken home, right? We can draw assumptions, guesses. Do you draw assumptions based on what somebody looks like? We talked to Jude about what he wears. I have absolutely no clue about visual cues, but my wife is absolutely brilliant at it. I mean, for real. She's a gifted person when it comes to aesthetics. She could have been an interior designer. She could have been a fashion designer. She is a jewelry designer, and she has no matter what she cooks, whatever she does, it's with impeccable taste. So she has raised Jude with a real awareness of what matches, But so there's an aesthetic thing to it, which is, it's pleasing to the eye. But then there are underlying assumptions that people make about other people based on how they look. And I'm not even going to contend that those are erasable, but they're worth thinking about. All of this I'm saying today is not to heal it, cure it, or even call it wrong, but simply to notice it, because there is I'm going to use a word that I really like, which I've never heard, I almost heard no one use ever, but I really like the word deleterious, which is, sort of a negative, a harmful effect. And yes, I could have just said harmful or negative, but there's certain words. I was raised by my parents to use words that are maybe a little off or weird or unusual. Deleterious. So in other words, so drawing assumptions, which we can't help but do, it does have deleterious effect. It does. But we can only undo those effects if we notice the assumptions we're making. So if you get sick, do you assume you had it coming? If you have a heart condition, do you assume there was something you could have done to ward it off? If somebody has cancer and dies from it, do you assume they just didn't treat it with the right treatment? Or, by the way, never mind a whole, it's not just a spiritual, many religions would argue that you didn't pray hard enough. So they assume that it was curable, you just didn't cure it. That is to say, in some sense, you didn't use the right medicine, right? In other words, do you assume that if it works, it was you, and if it doesn't work, it was you? That it was fixable or solvable? Do you assume that somebody in a position of authority knows what they're talking about? I think people in authority assume, count on that assumption, that there's an error a person can take to make it sound like they know what they're doing or know what they're saying. Meanwhile, they're making it up. But you assume that person knows and I don't. I mean, we're inundated with experts, all of whom are basically talking out their butts, about most things, really, science maybe not. If I can tell you what will happen if I combine, 500 milligrams of this and or a liter of this and a pound of that, I can tell you what will result. Then that's not an assumption. But most things are assumptions. If you invest in this stock, it'll go up. If you listen to me, your retirement fund will be robust. If you do these exercises, you'll never get injured. If you believe this, you'll go to heaven. A lot of assumptions we make about experts. So, by the way, one of the effects of that, I think, is that it gives us the very distinct feeling that we don't know. Maybe even that we assume maybe that we can't know, that there's a magic formula to certain kinds of knowledge that we're not privy to. So somebody who writes the book, the best-selling book on it, is the expert, and we assume they know better than us, and in a very real way that we cannot know as well as they do. Have you ever listened to somebody, sing a song or dance or solve a math problem and think, and just assume you could never? That's another assumption we live with. You could never. Gandhi used to talk about how he never wanted to be viewed as an exception. He wanted to be viewed as an example, because to view him as an exception is to assume that what he does is a superpower. When all he saw himself as was a very short lawyer, maybe with an iron will, but otherwise just a man who experienced the indignities of racism and witnessed the suffering of his homeland and did something about it. But he did it one day at a time, one speech at a time, one relationship at a time. And so we can assume that he was a superhero, or that Nelson Mandela was a superhero, or that Mother Teresa was a superhero, or which again implies that we could never. They can, we can't. It's a common thing. By the way, have you ever worked in an office and then pondered quitting? And I'm not assuming you've ever had. I'm not assuming you've had this feeling, but I've definitely heard it said many times that place is going to fall apart when I leave. Boy, they better be good to me, because this place would fall apart if I leave. An assumption that we are essential. Have you ever dated somebody or even married somebody and assumed that you needed them to be happy? How about assumed that they needed you? Not in an office, but in a family or in a relationship. Have you ever assumed somebody was unpleasant? How about assumed somebody didn't like you? Because the one time you walked by them, they didn't smile. Right? Something flitted across their face, and your opinion of them was locked in, even if you were guessing what their opinion of you was. My wife, as I say, is a very, very talented girl, but she has a lot of insight. The difference between her and me basically is she says her insight's in 12 words or less, and I go on forever. And so she has the gift of succinctness. She also, apropos of nothing, she also has the gift of modesty about these things. She knows things, but she'll only say them once. She doesn't need you to think that she's smart. She'll say it if you ask, and she won't say it if you don't, and she won't say it twice because she doesn't demand that you think that of her. And it is shocking how many people assume the things she doesn't know because she doesn't blather them. It's also shocking the places. This is going to sound random, but it's another assumption, I think. The assumptions people have of my wife, and I don't know why, that she hasn't been in certain countries or knows certain cultures. Have you ever had that feeling? Somebody talked to you as if you had no idea what. Somebody said to me recently, we were talking about Starbucks, and I said, I wonder how many Starbucks there are in Italy. We were talking about Italy. I wonder how many Starbucks there are in Italy. And this guy, is very proud of his Italian heritage and said, maybe you don't realize, but Italy is a coffee culture. There are no Starbucks in Italy. Okay, so he made multiple assumptions in that sentence. One is he assumed that I wouldn't know that, like, the word cafe isn't originally an Italian word, or that I would never have noticed that Trenta and Venti are Italian words, or that I wouldn't know that cappuccino is an Italian word, or that I wouldn't have noticed that my wife's coffee maker is a Bialetti, or that I would have never been to Italy, which I'm grateful that I was when I was in college, and I was in England for 6 months, and during the break in between, I traveled Europe and I went to Italy. So many assumptions he made, and by the way, we then of course looked it up, and there are 30 or 35 Starbucks in Italy. But have you ever had that assumed of you, that you know there's no way you're as worldly or as wise? And, sorry to ask the question, because I'm definitely guilty of it, have you ever assumed somebody you were talking to could not possibly be as sophisticated, maybe because of the job they were doing at the time, maybe because of the glasses they were wearing, or the pants they were wearing? I do a lot of home renovations in our, I don't know if I've talked about our fall down home. It's falling down less lately, which is good. So I will frequently wear, I literally have a couple bins of horrible, awful, misfitting, stained, I have, is paint still on my arm? Yeah, I have horrible, awful clothes that really shouldn't be worn in public. But I will sometimes go out in public wearing them. Like if I'm working hard and there's nothing to eat at home, and I go get a Chipotle, I'll go out dressed like a painter, right? Literally painting my hair. I'll wear a painter's, clothes. I have a couple long sleeve shirts that I bought from Dunn Edwards, which are painter's shirts, and I'm sure I look like a painter. And I've never actually done a careful analysis of whether people look at me different or talk to me different. But I wouldn't be surprised if they do, and I just don't notice it because I just talk to people the way I talk to people. You know what I mean? But I'll bet you they're making assumptions. I know that I make assumptions about somebody who's dressed. And by the way, it happens, I don't mean this to sound noble, it happens that I make an assumption of somebody dressed like a painter that they're exceptionally hardworking and probably very, very talented, and I only know that because I have tried to paint. Do you know what I mean? Like there's an empathy gap, I think, that leads to a lot of these assumptions. The empathy gap that I have never waited a table or cleaned a hotel room. So I actually have to exert some effort to bridge that assumption gap, that empathy gap, and imagine what it would be like to walk into somebody's hotel room and wipe mysterious liquid off the bathroom floor. I don't know what that's like. I can only imagine. And but that takes a mental effort. Without that mental effort, I can assume a lot about the people who clean my hotel rooms. But I might not feel a human-to-human connection unless I imagine myself or my son or my wife wiping up that floor. Then I don't have to. If I do that for a second, I don't have to assume. I can actually imagine. It's probably gross, and a job that somebody has to do and isn't paid enough for. And it changes the way I see the lady pushing the cart down a hotel hallway. If I take a few extra seconds and find out what somebody's been through, then I don't have to assume that they're standoffish because they don't like me. A few seconds, a few extra questions, an extra moment of empathy or interest makes that wall a little invisible. I can see humanity where before I assumed burrito roller or IRS agent or police officer. To break through these assumptions about other people is to exert a little bit extra effort, because the assumptions are easy. They're easier than asking. They're also easier than assuming the best rather than the worst. So reading the news, I sang that Unjaded song, reading the news absolutely can be an exercise in surrender, in not the good kind, in despair, absolutely. But then I think one of the things that's been really striking, and I don't mean it as a political statement, but you can take it however you want it, agree, disagree, but I think one of the things that's really been striking about the masses, the tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of citizens of Minneapolis who've come out is they didn't assume that just because things have been a certain way that they need to continue to be that way. That they actually took the one step past the assumption of despair or of powerlessness and asserted themselves in a very similar way to Gandhi, really. Gandhi, one of the things that he intended to do and succeeded at, Dr. King did the same thing, and not just Dr. King, civil rights leaders did, was their intention was not only to non-violently resist, but by doing so to stir the conscience and the common humanity of their oppressors. Gandhi insisted as much as he could that his followers receive whatever abuse was to be doled out at them without retaliation, because he knew there was a point beyond which they could not continue to do it. Dr. King, the same, with the fire hoses and the dogs and the explosions and the lynchings. Fighting back creates a fight and in some sense perpetuates an assumption that we are in an adversarial enemy relationship. Not fighting back bridged the empathy gap. Not a painless process. Not an easy process. And not even a just process, but a process that did play out. Played out again in Minneapolis. Satyagraha, what Gandhi called it, soul force. I mentioned deleterious effect. All these assumptions that we make, the world will never change, that person doesn't like me or can't possibly understand, I can never get past this, I can never achieve that. These assumptions, I've been thinking about. There is, and I'm going to wrap up. There is an effect it has wherever an assumption rears its head. So this is actually the thing I want to leave you with, in case any of this is interesting, or in case you're thinking, yeah, I do kind of assume my neighbor doesn't like me, right? Or I do kind of assume I can never learn how to tap dance. Or I do kind of assume that the world will never be a peaceful place. All these assumptions, every assumption I considered, and I've got lists of them that I thought of as we got to today, all the assumptions do the same thing. They restrict. They block. thinking your neighbor doesn't like you, assuming it without finding out. Assuming your neighbor doesn't like you keeps you from getting to know your neighbor, because you slammed the brakes before you could even start the car. It's over, right? My wife just told me a story this morning about she was a court reporter before doing the art that she does, and there was she worked with a lot of police stations. She took depositions for police officers, sometimes internal affairs, sometimes crime testimony and things, and she got to know a lot of police officers, and she told a story about this one woman, police officer in a station, who never smiled at her, never engaged with her for more than 10 seconds. And my wife is a very pretty girl, and she dresses very well, and she would walk into these stations with her court reporting machine, and all the guys were always very excited that it was her day to do that. This is for real. It's just not her talking. This is me talking. They're all very excited that this beautiful girl walks in the dress and smelling great, and she, by the way, was a brilliant court reporter, and everything about it was good. This one woman never made eye contact with her, engaged with her, and she said for months she assumed this woman had something against her. And then she was talking to another friend who said, and this became one of many probably, Melina. By the way, I've heard it said that when I'm going to say it maybe for myself anyway, but I think it might be true for a lot of straight men marrying straight women, which is that there's a training process that goes on, that the woman is really training the man to be a partner in a way. I don't mean to sound obnoxious towards men, but I mean I am one, and I think, and it's absolutely true in my case anyway. Kind of like we're watching Jude go from wild animal to human being, as a baby. And so I have a lot of rules that Melina has instilled in me, because I really do have so much respect for her insights and her wisdom. And a friend of hers told her something that became a rule that I don't consistently follow, but should, and that is, you don't get to assume what somebody meant if that assumption means your feelings are hurt. If your feelings are hurt, but you can't confirm that that's what they meant, then you're carrying a hurt founded on nothing. Melina says to me, gather the information, then you can take it personally. Confirm, or otherwise, what are you doing? You're telling yourself a story about being insulted when they may not have meant anything that you are assuming they meant. So what she did was, my wife did, because she's braver than I am, and so one day she went back to that station, and as that woman, the police officer, was walking by, apparently she wasn't in uniform, she was wearing a dress, and Melina, as she walked by, gave it a shot, and she said, "I love your dress." And she said the woman turned to her, smiled, and they proceeded to have like a half-hour sit-down chat, as lovely as like they were old friends, and the entire relationship turned, and it turned out she had never had anything against my wife. Or Melina, she wasn't my wife, right? And it was an assumption that she was able to dispel, to shatter with one sentence. So, what do assumptions do? For real. I like practical things, right? Practically speaking, if you're reading the news and you assume nothing can change, then you're not going to try. If you assume that other people finish their books, but it must come naturally to them because I'll never finish my book. Well, read what Stephen King says about writing. He's miserable. And he's been miserable for 50 years. Looking at blank pages is torture for everyone. You watch, you want to direct movies? Great. You think Steven Spielberg has it easy? It's not easy. It's a nightmare every single time. He does it. It's not meant to be. He keeps at it until it's done. Right? There's no secret form. We can assume, the public speaker, well, they're just obviously naturally gifted. No. Don't assume it. Maybe they are. Very few. I love stand-up comedy. Very few stand-up comedians, very few will tell you out loud that they were that it came easy. They just don't do it. Only one I've ever heard, Dave Chappelle, brilliant comedian, only one I've ever heard who actually says he was 16, he got up. Not only, it's a very common feeling for stand-up comics to feel like this is where I belong, but only one I've ever heard say, I was actually pretty good from the get-go. The rest of them crash and burn 1,000,000 times. So you can assume that, Jerry Seinfeld, well, I mean, he's a genius. I'm not a genius. I could never do stand-up comedy. He wasn't a genius at 16. Ask him. He's talked about it. There was a moment, by the way, when he was a teenager. He did a stand-up routine, which for sure was bad. And in the room was one of my dad's comedy heroes, and I'm blanking on his name. Jackie Mason. Jackie Mason, one of my dad's favorite comedians. We used to listen to LPs of Jackie Mason. Jerry Seinfeld tells the story. Jackie Mason was in the club, and went over to Jerry, a teenager, called him aside, and said, "Kid, you are going to be so successful." And Jerry said for like 5 years he lived on that compliment, because it's a slog. You and I can assume somebody else has it easy. They're suffering through something that they figured it out, but you never could. No, they probably just did the homework. Math or science, whatever it is. So these assumptions we make, it's like the taking poison and expecting the other person to die, right? We can make assumptions about the people we see around us, or even about ourselves, and what we're actually doing is slamming on the brakes of growth or improvement or change or experiences. Oh, I could never learn to ski. Yes, you can. How do you think skiers learn to ski? By falling, like everybody else. Even the Olympics, those people were terrible skiers when they started. There was not a magic formula, most likely. Every so often you got a Tiger Woods. Of course, he was golfing since he was 3. If I was golfing since I was 3, I probably would be decent at it, So the assumptions, the effect, the negative effect is straightforward. It limits the relationship, limits the growth, limits the adventure, limits the experiment, limits the improvement, limits the peacemaking, limits the good doing, limits the love. And I don't like those limits. Here you go. Just when I thought all hope was gone, just when I thought everything was going wrong, lifted my eyes and I saw the light, lifted my eyes to a new sunrise. Why give up hope? There is always hope. Why give up a dream? There is always another dream. Why give up a song that I love to sing? You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Just when I thought that the world would end, I had another thought. Think I'll have it again. That everything good came from nothing at all. Everything good came when someone answered a call. Why give up hope? There is always hope. Why give up a dream? There is always another dream. Why give up a song that I love to sing? You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. You know what I mean. Do do do. Do 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 do. Can you imagine what it would be like if everybody did what a kindergartner knew was right? What a different world it would be if I looked after you and you looked after me. Just when I thought I should just give up. Just when I thought despair had defeated love, I lifted my eyes to my baby's face. Look at those eyes, yeah, that's what I call grace. Why give up hope? There is always hope. Why give up a dream? There is always another dream. Why give up a song that I love to sing? You know what I mean, you know what I mean. Why give up hope? There is always hope. Why give up a dream? There is always another dream. Why give up a song that I love to sing? You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Do 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 do. You know what I mean. Do 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 do. You know what I mean. Do 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 do. You know what I mean.
Amazing. Thank you so much. All right, friends, it's now time for our conscious giving. And I would like to invite our ushers to please come forward. Beautiful. Thank you so much. We've got BJ and Jen. Let's give them some love for being volunteers in service to our community. We're so grateful. And friends, if this service has inspired you in any way, please consider making a donation to our community. And for the love streamers, for those of you tuning in on the live stream, you can go to paypal.me/awakeningways and make your donation that way. If you're in the room and you forgot your checkbook or cash, you can turn your program over and there's a QR code that you can scan with your smartphone and make your donation that way. We also accept checks and cash, okay? Joyously receive those. All right. And so we invite you to now take your hand and place it over your heart, or your gift and place it over your heart. And we have a giving affirmation. I invite you to please repeat after me. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and my belief. It does great work in the world and returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. Just do a little bit of soft music while they're passing the basket.
So, just so grateful for this offering, and everything that's in this basket represents the goodness of our community. It is growth, it is joyous activity, it is supporting the messages that we bring and the love that we share, and all the prayer requests in here as well are manifesting now. And so I'm just so grateful for all of it. And I just say thank you. I release and let go and claim that this is a good thing here, and so it is.
All right, and now our announcements angel is going to share some good stuff happening here today. Reverend Susan, woohoo!
Good morning, beloveds. All right, so it's not too late to purchase a ticket for the concert that is following. We have a potluck over here, and so if you haven't purchased your ticket, there's still time, and we have angel tickets, so if you want to stay and be here, please do. Our community is growing both in person and online. We now have 2 ways to stay connected. We have an in-person community bulletin board available at our Sunday gatherings. It's at the tall table in the back. And we also have a virtual, we have a private Awakening Ways Facebook group, which serves as a virtual bulletin board. And so these spaces are for community members who are seeking something or have something to share, such as a room to rent, loving help or support, resources, offerings, community needs. So please take advantage of both of those options. Reverend Elizabeth has been holding a thoughtful and heart-centered book study exploring our book of the month, The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. You can still join the individual sessions for $20 per drop-in session. It's not too late to sign up for the daily email from Reverend Elizabeth celebrating the 64 days of the season for peace and nonviolence. This daily email reminds us how to be a peaceful presence in the world. Next Sunday, we are happy to offer the Spiritual Sprouts program for all kids aged 5 to 12. Bring along the kids, the grandkids, the nieces and nephews for this enlightening and fun program. And then also next Sunday is the Divine Sparkles Wisdom Circle, where we get to share our insights and questions from the month's Sunday talks. Reverend Elizabeth will be facilitating this popular and sacred circle. The February Echo Meal is scheduled for Thursday, February 26th, and you can make a difference by signing up to make a meal, to help serve, or both. The sign-up sheet is over here at the side table. Our annual membership meeting will be held on Sunday, March 8th. This is your opportunity as a member of our community to learn about what the past year, what we all accomplished in the past year, what we are looking at moving forward, where we stand financially, all the good stuff. Plus, you get to meet all the board members. So please be sure to plan on staying after the service for that annual meeting. Here's some exciting news. Joyful Joni will be facilitating a new weekly spiritual book study called Beyond the Book, Belief. Okay, well, it doesn't say that on here, but it's a connection circle. It's called Beyond the Book, Belief, Being, and Bliss. This welcoming gathering begins Sunday, March 15th from 5 to 6 p.m. on Zoom, and it is a space to explore inspiring spiritual teachings, reflect, and share insights with others. Joyful Joni is observing a sacred healing retreat today and is joining us via Zoom, so send her your love, and everyone is invited to attend. Visit the book table over here for essential reading materials, including the Book of the Year, the Book of the Month, and the March-April Science of Mind magazine, which you definitely want to get a copy of because our very own Reverend Elizabeth has a published featured article entitled Intuition, Your Quiet Superpower. More issues are on the way, so if we run out, just sign up at the back. And lastly, please join me by giving a big shout out to all of our volunteers and staff. We could not do this without you.
Friends. All right, so in the interest of time, we're at 11:30. That's about 5 minutes fast. So I would love to have us please just stand and take the hand of the person on your right and on your left instead of taking the time to circle up today, because we've got potluck food to eat and we've got shopping to do.
What time are we doing a concert?
The concert is at noon.
Oh, so a half hour, okay. All right.
Yes. And friends, so won't you know with me that you are never alone, that God is where you are right now and always, and all that we ever need do is turn within. And it is here we will find we are guided, sustained, directed, and inspired by a source that knows only good. Joyously let us make use of these gifts in all that we think, in all that we say, and in all that we do. Please repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening as me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in my pocketbook. Life is in my relationships. Life is everywhere. I think it. I feel it. I believe it. I express it. I accept it. Just the way that it is, and just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. Woo!
You guys want to sing something real quick? You guys know Love Is My Decision? Some of you maybe. Here we go. Here's how it goes. Love is my decision. It's up to me. It's up to me to give of my heart, to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start, can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, to change my mind, God will show me how. God will show me how. Love is my decision. My decision right here and now, right here and now. Let's sing one more time. Love is my decision. It's up to me. It's up to me to dance down that road, to dance down that road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load, can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, to change my mind, God will show me how. God will show me how. Love is my decision. My decision right here and now. My decision right here and now.
Record.